with a vision, explain to your people why we want it or why we must do it, and make the first steps yourself. Drive the program, drive the change that you want to see in your company. Now we have a question from English company that I'm not going to try to ruin the name. Oi Anakiki Kazavin Limited. And the question is interesting. What about kaizen in the fashion business? That's a fascinating question because, yes, it jumps over all of the paradigms we have about production. The fashion business has nothing to do with normal production, or does it? I would have to say it does. You have to find the common thing. For you, I would say two things. Time is money. So inventory is by all means a factor that you can look at and eliminate waste to make improvements. Secondly, you are also making a product. But your business is very much based on creativity and time to be creative. The amount of time I have to be creative is directly related to the standards that I have put in place to make sure that all of the processes around my creativity run smoothly. The less time I waste accomplishing the little things, the more time I have to be creative. How to sustain what is being described in creative standards? This is a question from ArcelorMittal Tailored Blanks. Here my advice is audit to coach, not to catch. You want to check your processes on a regular basis to see if your standards are being maintained. But you're doing it to make sure you can help your people improve. Audit to coach, not to catch. Remember, an audit that has no corrective actions is non-value add. The last question I have on my list here as previous questions is how can we reduce human resources waste? This I'd have to make a reference to the answer that we gave above. Human resources and the functions of human resources have products. We have to determine what is our product, what are our services, examine our product, find waste, and eliminate waste. So, Celine, that's it for the pre-questions that I have on my list.
Okay, so now start with the question I see in the chat area. So people are interested in talking about the importance of managers working on the Mura and Nuri.
Okay, the importance of management. Kaizen is a management tool. The power comes from the bottom. The power is in the people at the bottom. But you, as managers, have to set the course. You have to show that you are behind it. It is not something that you can start. It's not a button that you push and a process rolls and keeps rolling. You have to be constantly involved. You have to constantly maintain motivation. You have to constantly control and improve your processes. If management is not supporting, the workers will not be able to make improvements. Hope that's an answer to your question.
Okay, so next question was what is your recommendation about the methodology to implement Lean in a unit starting from scratch?
In a unit starting from scratch. A unit that starts from scratch has probably the best possibilities to implement Lean and to implement Kaizen. First of all, have a good understanding of what it is you want to do. What is your product? What is valuable for your customer? You have to add value. Identify the waste you have in your processes. Eliminate the waste in your processes. Create standard work. Ensure quality, delivery, and cost can be maintained through standardization of all your processes. It's a little bit difficult at the beginning, but it's kind of like having fresh clay to mold. I think if you start correctly, have a huge opportunity because you don't have to change old mindsets. I hope that's an answer to the question.
Oh, this is also part of the replies to the next question, which is, with what do you usually start with when you are invited to a company?
When I'm invited to a company, it depends on different things. If we're starting from scratch, we often start with the standard value stream so that we can see the actual flow of value through the process or through the entire factory. For companies that have already know where they're going, we may pick certain areas as pilot areas where we make targeted improvements to show the rest of the factories what we're doing, what the benefits of it are, and why they should get involved and support this action. These suggestions are often made by the company themselves as to which areas they would like to be started in. One tip I can make is be sure not to separate the production from the administrative processes. They both are important. If at all possible, start your campaign simultaneously in two different areas. Otherwise, your improvement will seem to be focused on the production, and when you try to move into the administrative areas, you might meet resistance using the old phrase, well, that's nothing for us, that's something for the production. That's my answer to that question.
We will conclude with the last question. What do you recommend to companies which are in transition period? So in the case of an alliance between different companies which already have their own practices.
Okay, this suggestion we come back to kaizen. Kaizen is about taking the things that are good and making them better. If we have two companies that may be fusing, if we have two companies that are coming together, then first of all, I have to have my vision. I have to know where I'm going with my new corporation. What is the intent? I have to have good cascading of my targets throughout all of my levels to make sure that everyone knows what they're doing and what their part in the big puzzle is. And then, as I said, take a look at the important things. Make sure that I'm adding value where I'm combining two different companies or two different mindsets. My recommendation is to make sure that we have standards in place so that everyone in the new company has an understanding of how we're going to do things now. We have to forget the old. We have to leave things behind us. The future is not an extension of the past. We have to be able to think in new terms, in new directions, create standards for one company and not think of ourselves as two companies pushed together. That's the answer to this question.
So a very last question for Mr. Brook. How do you motivate and sell the idea of CI to the team member?
The motivation of continuous improvement to the team members is done through management. Management has to stand behind it. Management has to support it. Management should often lead the way. Maybe if management makes the first steps, starting instead of in the production, in the manager's office with 5S, with improvement. Additionally, as I mentioned before, find an area where I know I can get quick achievements with people that are open-minded and willing to participate. Create a pilot project that I know I can get quick success at and show obvious gains and benefits by doing these improvements. Share this information with all of your workers. Let them see it. Let them see how good it is for the workers that are in this changed environment, and they will come to you and ask when they can also change. And that's the answer for that question.
So I think there is no more question for the moment. Thank you very much, Helen, for this very nice approach about Lean and Kaizen. I would like to thank you all for your participation and invite you to our next webinar. The next one will be held on 8th May, so anybody interested can apply online. So thank you very much, Helen.
Thank you, Celine. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you for everyone. I hope that even despite the technical difficulties, that everyone got the most out of this seminar. Please feel free if you have any further questions or there's anything that we can help you with to further your Lean journey or your Kaizen journey. Don't hesitate to contact us.
Okay, this concludes our meeting. Thank you very much to everybody. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.